The International Space Station could soon operate without a crew for the first time in nearly 2 decades. It comes after yesterday's dramatic Soyuz launch failure over Kazakhstan. The capsule hurtled back to Earth from 31 miles up and made an emergency landing. The 2 crew members, astronaut Nick Hague and cosmonaut Alexei Ovchinin, are okay. This morning, Russia suspended manned Soyuz flights while it investigates. Mark Strassmann is at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida with how that puts all U.S. manned missions on hold. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, and that is why this Russian failure really matters. The Soyuz rockets are grounded, no more flights until they figure out what went wrong yesterday. And for America, the Soyuz is the only taxi right now that we have to head to the space station.
And there is liftoff.
2 minutes into a 6-hour flight to the International Space Station, the crew of 2 aboard the Soyuz rocket knew something was wrong. Their capsule shook, and they felt a sudden weightlessness. You can see the moment a rocket malfunction triggered an automatic abort system, separating the capsule and sending it into ballistic descent. Parachutes guided them down roughly 250 miles from the launch site. Crew members Nick Hague and Alexei Ovchinin looked unharmed and grateful to be alive.
The crews were all ready. Everybody was prepared. And this is what they train for. This is what they prepare for.
The Russian rocket failure comes at a crossroads for American space travel.
And the final liftoff of Discovery.
7 years ago, the space shuttle fleet was retired. And ever since, NASA has paid the Russians roughly $80 million a seat to fly its astronauts to the space station. 2 American companies, SpaceX and Boeing, are developing new spaceships to fly NASA's astronauts. Both hope to begin launching crewed flights next summer. But there's deadline pressure. America's Soyuz contracts with the Russians end next July.
Do you feel under the gun now to make it happen?
Schedule pressure is never going to get in the way of making sure we have a safe vehicle to fly.
You want to get it right.
Have to. This is the upper dome.
John Mulholland oversees the development of Boeing's Starliner. Earlier this week, he gave us a tour of the spacecraft's assembly plant in Florida.
It's important the world sees Americans putting Americans into space.
Absolutely. And if you look at the International Space Station, a $100 billion orbiting laboratory that has science capability that you cannot get here on Earth. And so fully utilizing that capability in the next 10, 15, 20 years is going to be incredibly important.
There are 3 people on the space station right now, and the issues with the Soyuz rocket does not affect them. They have enough supplies, and they also have a Soyuz capsule docked to the station to bring them back to Earth in December. And beyond it, that has to be a relief if you're up there.
Yeah, not knowing how much longer they would have to stay because of that crash. But it is incredible to see those astronauts walk out of that capsule unharmed, right?
Especially after what they apparently went through, which is coming down 6 times the rate of gravity. So that's tough. And then they were spinning, too.
Yeah.
So.
And working with the Russians, despite how bitter relations have been, this one project has united us for so many years now. Hopefully they can get it up and running sooner rather than later.
Anybody who watched that live feed thought, oh man, what's going on? And to know that they're okay, phew.
Their family was hugging them extra tight yesterday.